Air. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, just excellent across the board. This is gonna get a lot of Oscar buzz coming up. Went to Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, when that was re-released in the theater. Okay, here we go. Went to Barbie. The Equalizer 3. This is a funny experience because I have not seen the first two Equalizer movies. Okay, right about there. Hello there. Hello. It's been a little while. It's been the past year or so of seeing movies and everything. Well, today, oh yeah, let's see if I can, just a quick zoom in to show. Look at that. Been saving these since pretty much last December. I think is the oldest ticket in here somewhere. To keep up with the fun custom of filling up my ticket stub boards. Obviously, as you can see, many more stubs, many more ticket stubs to show off and talk about here in this video and put up on my boards. I have to pick up all of those up and organize them. Let's talk movies. Back to the boards, here we go. Starting off with, when did I see this? December 15th, Violent Night, the action Christmas movie with David Harbour and John Leguizamo. The trailer looks really fun. I was looking for a gory and action-filled Christmas movie, if you will. I should scope out the Blu-ray. I don't know where it is somewhere. That was a great time. I had a fun time with it. This action buff and David Harbour and John Leguizamo fan was very happy with that. Exciting, fun and exciting time. Next we have The Menu to do with Ralph Fiennes and Anya Taylor-Joy. Really great. Foodie thriller, well, not survival thriller, foodie thriller. Very amazing scene with Anya Taylor-Joy twisting things on Ralph Fiennes. The chef in The Menu has an amazing ending. Really awesome movie. Okay, Avatar 2, 3D IMAX. Got the premium showing that James Cameron wanted everybody to see his new Avatar sequel in the theater in the IMAX 3D. I thought it was a really cool movie, a pretty solid sequel. I'm fine with the first movie. The first movie is a pretty fine movie, whatever you might say, whichever side of the aisle that you might be on. I think I had a much better time with the sequel, and I'm curious to see how much more of the Nabi world that James Cameron develops in the next 2 or 3 sequels, however many that we have. By the time we're all 50, 60 years old, we have Avatar 10, whatever. I thought the sequel was fine. Pretty cool adventure. Okay, see how quickly I can get through this. Then we have The Whale, Brendan Fraser's Academy Award winning movie here. Darren Aronofsky, very, very tug on the heart, definitely emotional type of movie. Fantastic movie nonetheless. Megan, in January. I was just curious of the movie. It looked like a potentially cool sci-fi horror thriller type of movie, sci-fi horror movie. This is not very much of a horror film. There is some violence with the Megan rogue robot toy character who goes rogue on different kinds of people, especially in like the manufacturing facility where she was embodied and brought up. But it's kind of an interesting sci-fi thriller, I guess. Not a horror movie. The trailer kind of made it look as such and kind of marketed it as such. Not much of a horror movie. Infinity Pool with Mia Goth. Very interesting concept. Very interesting sci-fi thriller type of movie. As well as like a satire on like rich people getting into crimes and getting away with their getting out of the crime or getting out of the consequences of the crime because they can pay their way out of it and just throw money, and either someone else pays for the crime or the crime is erased from their record. So interesting satire of that. The third act of the movie is a little kind of weird and drags on, and I just kind of dropped out of the movie. Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan's latest thriller, latest twisty thriller. I thought it was fine, not as M. Night Shyamalan-y. Science fiction, cerebral type of thrillers like he's done before. There isn't much of a Shyamalan twist in this. Pretty cool movie and interesting idea. Definitely not as bad as a movie as Old previously. All right, and then we get to Air. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, just excellent across the board. This is going to get a lot of Oscar buzz coming up. Just across the board, excellent writing, directing, acting from Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Matt Damon has an incredible monologue toward the not-faced Michael Jordan character, as Matt Damon is really trying to sell the young Michael Jordan on Air Jordans and how they really want to grasp the young Michael Jordan as a sponsor for the company. My favorite movie of the year. Just incredible how well the movie is done. A shoes Cruise sports movie won me over as probably my favorite movie of the year. Just how excellently well done the whole movie is done through and through. If you have not seen Air, please check it out. Incredible movie. John Wick Chapter 4. And apparently at this point, not the final chapter in the John Wick franchise. We might be getting a fifth one. Who knows what we're going to be doing with the fifth movie. Most people are saying it's kind of a long movie, which I can kind of get. Once that whole duel is like set in motion and John Wick is given that timeline to show up to the church or else he's disqualified from the whole duel, and we have, you know, the crazy stunt sequences with around that circle and going up the staircase and everything, you can argue that that whole portion is too long and that portion is what weighs down the runtime, but that still has some amazing action sequences that really boost up the action, the awesomeness in the whole movie. Obviously, you have the one-shot take of John Wick moving through the house in like this overhead video game type of style. I heard about that shot in reviews that I did watch and listen to prior to the movie. Wow, that scene blew me away. And if you know what I'm talking about, yeah, incredible scene. We'll see what John Wick Chapter 5 brings us. 4 was really incredible. I really liked it. Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure how soon this would come up. Here we go. Let's rip the Band-Aid, everybody. Beau is afraid. I know there are lots of Ari Aster fans out there. I have a friend of mine who might be watching this who's a big Ari Aster fan. He is screaming at the screen that Beau is Afraid is so brilliant. Sure, I don't understand any of that. I really did not enjoy this movie at all. Very long. Let's see, some sympathy points I can give to this movie. The first half or so, or the first third of Beau in New York City, in his apartment, and the visual metaphor of his chronic anxiety and his chronic fear of just everything, and that everybody wants to hurt him and everyone wants to kill him and do all this crazy stuff and everything. The first third when he's in New York City is really cool, and some really good storytelling. Of Beau has to visit his mom who passed away recently, or didn't she, and the twist later on or whatever. I thought the first third or so of the movie was pretty good, really good with, illustrating the whole chronic anxiety metaphor actually physically manifesting around Beau and all these crazy events kind of manifesting around Beau. Then the movie definitely really swells into this is just a weird and bad dream that just keeps unfolding in front of Beau and in front of us, the audience. And I can totally understand arguments for how this is a great, for lack of a better word, physical, metaphorical. I can throw out any kind of words I want toward this movie because that's what this movie was striving for. A great metaphorical analysis on chronic anxiety and chronic paranoia and fear toward everything and everyone in the world. It totally gets just a strange movie, and it got much more unhinged, and I really felt the runtime. And the last scene was kind of interesting with him and his mom. It gets into really stupid metaphorical CGI creatures, if you will. And in the very last scene, I'm going to talk details about that when Beau kind of wanders into this courtroom area, into the stadium courtroom, that's a space that really feels like the end of this bizarre dream of Beau. We're trying to fight the mom, and Beau goes up and written and directed by Ari Aster. Credits come up. Yeah, my wife and I were like, ready to go? Let's go. I hated that. That was terrible. What a terrible scene. Anyhow, if you love the movie, awesome, fantastic. There are Ari Aster fans out there. I am not really one of them. All right, that movie's talked about. Let's move on, please. Oh, yes, please. Went to Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, when that was re-released in the theater. Not sure what kind of occasion it would be. It's not like an anniversary type of release, but it might have been like an anniversary related type of release for the movie. It's my favorite Star Wars movie of the original trilogy. I love Return of the Jedi. It was amazingly refreshing to go into the movie theater for an older movie that I've seen a million times, that everyone likes in one form or another. Either it's your favorite movie or it's one of your kind of lower favorite movies, but it was very nice and refreshing to go into an actually really good Star Wars movie. So it was nice to sit there and be like, yep, this is Star Wars, the original trilogy. I know everything in this movie and I love every bit of it. Just being able to finally relax and, enjoy this movie that you know is good, that you admire the heck out of everything in this movie. I love seeing Return of the Jedi in the theater. Yeah. Incredible experience. All right, set back up with this new board. Now I can actually stand up. So we're working with the top half of the board. Here we go, continuing on now with Sisu from the studio that brought you John Wick. A really cool kick-ass tale of this guy who refuses to die. He's not immortal, he just refuses to die, so that the tale goes. A really cool movie, I love the trailer as well. Does not kill the dog does not die, as illustrated in the trailer. The dog does not die, does get into dangerous situations, dog is okay. Moving on here to Fast X. 10th movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. Then we're now going on to part 2 of the franchise, to Furious 11, whatever it's going to be called. Strangely enough, I think I liked Fast X more than F9. F9 was kind of a stupid and weird and ridiculous mess. I'm sure everyone else out there had a good time with it in one way or another. I'm sure all of you Fast and Furious fans are having a great time with these movies. Fast X, I think I had a better time with all the different action timelines going on in the movie. Then next up I have these tickets doubled up. Went to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with Mrs. Realist. All right, so moving along here quickly. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2. Amazing, amazing animation. Pretty interesting story. Pretty interesting continuation of the first movie that we've been going into. Left on a cliffhanger. Can't wait for Part 2 to come out with this trilogy. Very, very cool and well animated movies. Asteroid City from Wes Anderson. I really like Wes Anderson. I really like all his movies. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, our 5th. I keep thinking it's 4th. Nope, it's our 5th. As my brain keeps trying to kick out Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I think I do like this a good degree more than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The 3rd act in Dial of Destiny is especially interesting with the time travel aspects that the characters go through, but I think the ending could have been different, that Indiana Jones could have stayed where he was, but no, we were pulled back and Indiana Jones needs to be in the current day, so here we are, hopefully stopping with the ongoing Indiana Jones movie. Next up, one of the most anticipated movies of the year, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Almost said Part 2, not Part 2, Part 1. Really, really awesome addition to the franchise. This might be my new favorite of the franchise. It's very close between this and Fallout. Really cool movie, really awesome action sequences, really awesome practical effects. Can't wait for Dead Reckoning Part 2 to answer things and wrap things up. Really awesome action in this movie. Then Oppenheimer. Did not do Barbenheimer. I'll explain in a minute with the next movie coming up. From Christopher Nolan, this is sort of testing my fandom with Nolan. I mean, not like I'm not a fan of Nolan anymore. It was a very long movie. Up until the nuclear bomb test, right about the middle of the movie, which may have been more or less intentional. I'm sure it was intentional to have the bomb test right in the middle of the movie. After that, with all the political drama and the political trials, really started to lose interest. Like, I hope you're not losing interest in this video, so here we go. Okay, here we go. Went to Barbie. I'm always just a little bit curious of what Greta Gerwig is going to come out with. I've thought that Greta Gerwig's previous movies have been fine. I think I've seen most of Little Women, I think it was called. Barbie was fun and interesting. I liked the first half much more than the second half. The second half, too many monologues and too many mouthpieces going on in the last act. I understand what the movie is trying to say. The movie leaned into the stereotypes to create the story world that it did, which it did, and it was all very entertaining. I enjoyed all of it. Too many mouthpieces in the last act to kind of ruin the fun a little bit, and I don't know, the first half of the movie was more fun than the last half. I enjoyed the movie fine. It's a fine movie. Moving on here to Gran Turismo, the Neil Blomkamp movie, based on the true story of the actual gamer to racer story. Really, really amazing sports movie. A couple of emotional moments are breezed over in the movie, but overall, brain the tissues, incredible movie, incredible emotional type of story going on here. Incredible sports movie, in my top 5 of the year for sure. Okay, and finally, this is a funny one, The Equalizer 3. This is a funny experience because I have not seen the first 2 Equalizer movies. The trailer for this looks really cool. I know about the first 2 Equalizer movies, and those movies are pretty cool. I just did not watch those first 2 movies. Neither did my coworker friend who I went to see this movie with, and I really liked it. And now we'll check out the first 2 movies for sure. This looks like a really cool wrapping up and conclusion to Denzel Washington's story as Robert McCall. Denzel Washington showing up more of his skills to beat the bad guys, to beat back at the bad guys and protect the community that he is retiring with. So I thought it was a pretty cool wrap up on the movies. And those are my ticket stubs. Okay, I'm actually going to wrap up this ticket stubs video with the 3 stubs that I have here, one from the end of September, and then 2 from this month in October from the previous month in October. 3 ticket stubs to wrap up real quick. The nearly completed board. The Creator from Gareth Edwards. Creator from Gareth Edwards, who had previously done Rogue One, a Star Wars story. I really love how grounded and just how great visually and rich I think even some of his stories and some of his writing and direction are. I really liked what he did with Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and he did really great work with the Creator here. The beginning, like the first half or so, was kind of somewhat interesting and took a little bit of time for my interest to sort of land and grapple into the story and grapple into everything that's going on. Much like Rogue One, in my opinion, the Creator gets much more interesting and really fascinating and cool as it goes along, with a really awesome finale and ends in just a perfect spot. Moving along to my first time viewing of any of the movies from this franchise once this autofocuses. Saw X. The first movie in the Saw franchise that I saw in the theater
with a good friend of mine, morbidly curious, and yeah, the torture, gory type of movie that I was expecting it to be, with a really interesting and deeper story and deeper look at the Jigsaw Tobin Bell character that everyone was talking about. All the other Saw fans were talking about just how great this Saw movie was, and just how great this movie was with focusing in on the Jigsaw character. Some really cool and crazy twists happening in this movie. Quite a bit of gore, quite a bit of things that made me a little bit uneasy here and there, looking away from the screen here and there, but some really crazy stuff. Really interesting story. Since then, I have seen the first Saw movie, which is a really interesting movie, and also, you know, grittiness, thriller, horror type of film, and I'm kind of curious and interested in watching the rest of these films. So Saw X, pretty good breaking to the movies and seeing it in the theater. Okay, and finally, do I have to go like that? Yeah, why not? Hold. Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon, the 3.5-hour movie from Martin Scorsese, as I installed this kind of on the edge of the board. From Martin Scorsese, who had previously done The Irishman, which I thought was a fine movie. I thought Killers was really cool, really good. It did kind of feel like a long movie at times. I did kind of feel the runtime a little bit. I think there were a few scenes in the movie that did kind of go on for a while, but were really good character illustrations and really good illustrations of the native community and the community that all these characters are in. Of course, you have the whole main cast: Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. Fantastic performances all across the board, even with the native indigenous Osage tribe people. Everyone was fantastic. Amazing feat of directing by Martin Scorsese, as well as amazing feat of writing and adaptation with the writing team involving Martin Scorsese and a couple of creative people adapting from the book and shifting. I'm gonna set this down. Oh, they're here. Shifting the perspective of the book from the FBI investigation involving twists and turns, as the FBI investigation is, looking at the different murders and the killings that happen within the Osage tribe and the more white Caucasian community. Tapping the microphone, taking out members of the Osage tribe to try to gain the wealth from the Osage tribe from the oil stuff that had happened. So really cool decision to twist everything from the FBI investigation perspective to the Osage tribe perspective, and seeing the Osage tribe members as victims of these crimes, and seeing everything kind of unravel and twist as Leonardo DiCaprio's character is more and more manipulated by Robert De Niro's character, his uncle, into committing these atrocious crimes, but still staying with Lily Gladstone. So wow, just a crazy movie and a crazy story. Obviously a true story, crazy events that have happened in that story and at historical times. So yeah, really cool movie, really crazy movie. Alright, I'll have this as a final wrap on the ticket stubs over the past couple of months or so. Leave a comment down below the movies that you've seen over the past year or so, over this whole year of 2023. We are in November, which is super crazy. Let me know any final movies that you're looking forward to over the rest of the year. What movies have you liked or not liked, or had any other kinds of adventures? Leave a comment below, like this video if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to the channel if you like filmmaking, independent filmmaking, and movie stuff all in general. Catch you later, stay real, make great things. Make your next film, write your next film, be a filmmaker, go and make something cool. See you next video.